Don't call it a comeback, call it a curse. Or at least you should if you're a Valorant pro. The 9-3 curse has been ruining easy wins on the VCT scene since its very beginning. A scoreline that teams bounce back from so wearily often that pros, streamers and casuals alike have started to claim that some kind of universal jinx is at play. Team Liquid managed to escape the curse's pinch when they took down Crew in their first Champions match, despite the commentators' whispers of 9-3 echoing in their headsets. Team Vikings, though, weren't so lucky, becoming the first 9-3 victims at VCT Champions, courtesy of one of the greatest Valorant comebacks ever seen from Gambit Esports. So what the hell is the 9-3 curse? Who are its biggest victims? And is there really a scientific explanation to all this superstition? The 9-3 curse is actually pretty self-explanatory. It takes effect when a Valorant team is leading 9-3 after the first half. High on confidence, they switch sides to either attack or defend, and then somehow, beyond all logic and reason, manage to throw it all away and lose the game. Not feeling superstitious? We get it, but there's plenty of examples of some of the best teams and players in the world falling victim to Valorant's most infamous voodoo. Take Team Liquid's Stage 3 Challengers match against Natus Vincia. Liquid destroyed Navi on their debut on Icebox, racing into a 9-3 halftime lead thanks to a defensive masterclass from Scream. But Navi built a wall in the second half, defusing every one of Liquid's plants, taking the first map 13-10 and sending shockwaves through the scene by taking the whole match one map later. Or even Vision Strikers at Masters Berlin. Paper Rex had the South Korean juggernauts on the ropes when they went 9-3 up, again on Icebox, and it looked like a map 3 would be required. But the curse had other plans. Buzz and RB putting in a monstrous attacking display to turn the tide and bag the match with a devastating 13-11 victory. Well, obviously, I hear you cry, comebacks happen all the time. Why is it the 9-3 curse, not the 8-4 hex or 10-2 jinx? Well, it's because it happens with such alarming regularity that even the pros have started to take it seriously, which is why you'll hear VCT commentators bringing it up whenever the dreaded scoreline makes an appearance at the halfway stage. So much so that even Sentinel's Canadian superstar Tens, arguably the world's best Valorant player right now, has weighed in on the curse, joking that it would actually be better to throw a round and go into halftime 8-4 up instead of 9-3.
Okay, this is how you don't fall into the 9-3 curse. What you do is you actually throw that round and then you make it up work. That's the fix to the 9-3 curse.
Obviously, it's always better to have more of an advantage than not, but the 9-3 curse has become so embedded in Valorant culture that it's easy to see how players can create their own pressure and lose simply because they now expect the 9-3 curse to happen. And in the same way, teams 9-3 down can play knowing that the thought of falling victim to the curse will always be playing on their opponent's minds. There's also the case for overconfidence. If you're 9-3 up, you only need to bag another 4 rounds to secure the game. At that point, even the pros start to get a little spicy, being a bit more aggro, and start playing for kills rather than focusing on the strategy that got them to such a strong position in the first place. It only takes an overcommit here, one peak too many over there, and suddenly you're feeding, the game is tied, and the 9-3 curse threatens to strike again. But outside of psychology, is there any actual gameplay or mechanical reason why a 9-3 is the most likely, or at least seemingly the most cursed scoreline to expect a comeback from? Well, unsurprisingly, yeah, there is actually. Valorant is an incredibly tactical shooter, and one of the reasons for that is the maps. By design, certain maps favour either defense or attack. If you're high on the overconfidence of a 9-3 lead, being overzealous on a defensive-sided map is only going to end one way, with your head taken off by an op. If you're attacking first on a map like Split, for example, which objectively is a defense-focused map, even after the changes Riot made to accommodate attacking teams, when you switch sides, you're going to have more of the map momentum with you, simply because it favours that style of play. Then again, both Team Liquid and Paper Rex both fell victim to Valorant's resident hex on Icebox, while both attacking and defending. I mean, sure, Icebox could just be a more balanced map, or maybe it just comes down to luck and who plays better on the day. But who knows? Maybe the 9-3 curse is more real than you think.